little resupply here at Hubyar. This gal just died? Guess she died in childbirth at the age of 21. Which reminds me, every once in a while, we'll do a little historical anecdote about the horrendous rate of death, infant mortality in the medieval period. Heck, actually, all the way up to about 200 years ago, 150 years ago, infant mortality was really high. And I'll go into that a little bit here. A little bit of housekeeping here. We've got quite a bit of money now, but we're still continuing to sell loot. We are back home. Of course, we are in Hubyar. And some people might have noticed that Hubyar is actually the city from the cutscenes. If you pick that up, I've been saying Wazu is from Ayakis. We're going to stick with that for the purpose of role-playing. We're going to do plenty of white lies, as my wife calls those. Wazu is from Ayakis and Hubyar, but Hubyar is the actual layout of the map that you've seen him in the cutscenes. I know that's not really relevant to some people, but in case people were curious, congratulations, you figured that part out. So we're going to do a little bit of cutting down on food here. Wazu's eating everything, so if we have less food around, right, it's like having donuts on your table in your apartment or your home. You're going to eat them all, right? Now, Wazu at this stage, we're going to keep him away from the donuts as well as we can, but we can't seem to keep him away from the merchant store here. Wazu is like that guy that runs down to the store as soon as he gets his first significant job and buys a bunch of Versace shirts on his credit card just to look badass, and the next thing you know, he's broke. Wazu has absolutely no fiscal competency, no discipline, whatever, so he's going to be going in here buying armor, buying things that may or may not be useful to the army. And of course, I'm role-playing there a little bit. In reality, I'll be sticking to things that are mostly useful for the army. A little preview of where we are, or a little overhead view of where we are. We're down in Hubyar. We've made it home. Some home cooking here after a couple of mercenary forays up north. Now, our companions are solving issues. They are on various different quests. It's a good way for them to generate income. It's a good way for them to get levels and charm and leadership and a bunch of other shit. I like prisoners carrying shit, and I'm not worried about costs. I know that's strange. A lot of guys really worry about money in Bannerlord. I think if you sort of emulate our campaign, and we're definitely taking plus to endurance, what an elite perk that is. I think if you emulate our campaign, you won't have a lot of money problems either. Of course, 6 episodes in here, or maybe this is the 5th episode, so we're not exactly to the hardest part when it comes to money. That comes once you start your own kingdom. But I don't think we're going to have a lot of money problems in this campaign because we're going to be kicking ass. Now, Wazu is also horny. He's hungry and horny. And Arwa. This is our target. So we've got to talk to her dad, right? This is the olden days where you had to talk to their dad before you married their daughter, and then you killed their daughter because she gave birth to a baby. You had 8 minutes or 12 minutes or whatever of pleasure, and then she had 9 months of morning sickness and then died a horrific death giving birth to your son. If you don't believe there's systemic sexism in the world, you're just not even looking at the basic facts of the world. I'm not going to be sitting here preaching to you guys all day, but anybody who denies that women have a big disadvantage in the world we live in, I don't know, they're just not opening their fucking eyes. So we're going to try to marry this gal here. We'll be treating her right. We're hoping she bears several children, future murderers for us, right? I don't tell her they're future murderers. We'll tell them, they're going to be Nobel Peace Laureates and shit like that. But really what we want out of Arwa, literally out of Arwa's womb, is we want future murderers for this campaign, right? We want babies of high level that will lead companions as we devastate Calradia and Conquest. We want murderers that chop off the head of people who stand in our way, raid peasants' villages and shit like that. So we want kids. So we're going to track down her dad and pay her money, right? That was a common thing back in the day. In fact, until recently, marriage was much more a transaction of goods than anything else, especially in the noble class. right? In the mercenary slash merchant class and the nobility. There was no question that it was a marriage of wealth. I like faster travel, but sometimes the overburden penalty is nice. I will be covering a lot of these perks in a lengthy episode where I drink a bunch of caffeine and then ramble extensively about my plans for stuff like this. This is our scout, so we're pouring all of her points into scouting, and then anything else she does is a bonus, right? You're not going to have your whole all your different companions running different roles for your army, but I will definitely have a professional scout. That way I can punt it with the main character. We've got Charlize Theron here, this 6-foot tall, beautiful beast of a warrior. She's upgrading some skills here, getting stronger by the day. Throwing, athletics, one-handed. Maybe eventually we'll do some two-handed with her. And of course, her job is to be a captain of one of the divisions. You got the Sultan chasing down some looters here. This guy is doing his dirty work, right? This guy, he's out there trying to clean up the streets, make sure there's no crime. And what does he have here? Yeah, see, it's still a Nidha, this very ordinary gal. It's like he's trying to pawn this gal off, even though we could marry her. By the way, you guys can definitely explain it to me. How come I can marry with no issues? When I first played Bannerlord, I had to like beg the lady and then flirt with her and go to the bar and buy her some drinks and shit. It was just like real life. It was much more difficult than this. My last campaign, I literally went up to some guy and was like, hey, I want to marry your daughter. And he's like, how much money do you have? Sure, here you go. I like this piece of armor here. That's a nice piece of armor. The bearded axe is nice. We're also, of course, we're trying to pile up Jarids because we're going to have a javelin heavy army. Now, eventually, we'll be getting Jarids and large bags of Jarids to fall via loot, right? That's basically the best javelin in the game. Despite all those crafters out there making these wicked javelins, I actually find a large bag of Jarids to be the best javelin in the whole game. Why? Well, it does less damage than the crafted ones, right? It doesn't go as far, it doesn't go as fast, shit like that. The crafted javelins are statistically superior, but at least as of this, the making of this episode, you cannot make large bags. Or at least, I think, maybe someone said you can do it if there's like a legendary or some shit like that. With my character who smithed quite a long time ago, and don't consider me a smithing expert, I'm not saying that this is definitive, I was never able to craft large bags. So, large bags of Jarid, where you get 7 plus all the perks, you end up with like 30 something javelins. And by the way, here's an overview of the map. Things haven't changed much, right? I mean, they're really, you know, 1 or 2 cities have kind of exchanged, but not too much change, despite us helping the Northern Empire. I've just found Jarids, large bags of Jarids, to be more than sufficient, because if you have 250 plus throwing, you're still killing almost every single guy you hit with a javelin in one shot, which means that, you know, your large bags of Jarids are going to be more than adequate, and you get lots and lots of them, right? You get more. All right, so this healer is someone I'm keeping an eye on. It is nice to have some companions that are healers, even though she looks like Sinead O'Connor. You know, we're looking for a mix of utility and beauty, right? We're trying to be pragmatic here. We can't take her on right now. We're maxed out. But where's Adram? Who else is here? God, they got a harem of women here. Let's just take a look. There might be some Aserai princess that I don't know about. That's amazing. They all have these striking eyes. You notice this? Man, I mean, she is beautiful. I want to see her up close. How do you...
It's been a while.
Jesus. Like, she's the kind of woman who would be on... What was that? That National Geographic episode where there was like 80 million of them sold. It's a famous picture of this gal from the Middle East with these incredible eyes. That's what she looks like. Arwa's not even here. I wonder if we're going to be able to marry her. Let's see. Greetings to you. There's something I'd like to discuss. I'd like to kill your daughter with childbirth. All right, suitable. And look at this gal, right? Not only is she attractive, but her stats are badass. 220 polearm, right? She's going to be cutting people down on a horse. 200 riding. She's got some good armor, it looks like. I mean, her armor, I bet, is worth more than the money we're going to pay this guy here. Let's see how much. Hopefully we can afford her. 500, 300. Oh, no, never mind. It's way less. So Wazu is stingy. He's not going to pay an ounce more than he has to here, right? I could give him 70,000, but we're looking for a discounted wife here. Wazu wants all the money so that he can buy armor he'll wear once a year. And there we go. Just like that, we've married Arwa. And this is what I was talking about a second ago. Maybe this is because it's a sandbox. Look how tall he is, by the way. Arwa is huge. He towers over her. That's hilarious looking. This guy's got a problem here. Maybe you got a problem. You just married your daughter off to Wazu. You got problems, man. He wants us to collect revenue. That's where you go to the villages and you bully the guys. You're like, give me your money, motherfucker. And then you have like role-playing options. You can tell them, all right, you've given me most of the money. You guys can go. Or you can be merciless and be like, give me your fucking money or I'll beat your ass. You can be like Joe Pesci. You know, you're a lying, stuttering, mumbling, motherfucking, degenerative, gambling motherfucker. You can just be totally ruthless. And that's a fun part of Bannerlord. You definitely can play the villain a little bit. I don't know what we're gonna do for this campaign. You never know, right? I guess it depends on my own disposition. We may turn into a ruthless dictator once we're in charge here and just start executing peasants and mercilessly carving our path through the land. Another tournament here. Really hesitant to show this. I'm gonna keep narrating, but there's definitely a shot that I just come in afterwards, after in this tournament. And just do a voiceover narration because we're going to speed this episode up. I don't think you guys really want to watch me, kind of work my way through tournaments. You obviously want to do this in your own campaign. It's basically free, right? They're free to enter, and then you get skills, you get levels up and shit like that. Look at this shit. Here comes, where's Adram? Adram's over there with a bow. Oh, by the way, I'm using no UI. I do this sometimes for practice. It makes the game harder, and early on when I'm learning a character, I like to do this. That way I get good practice because it doesn't give you the fielding retinue. It makes you much more, you don't know what your health is. It makes you play a lot better, I think. And just absolutely trucked Adram. Thanks for letting me marry your daughter, dude. Just mauled you in a tournament. And we're probably going to kill your daughter. I better not curse her. I was going to say we're probably going to kill his daughter with syphilis or just, oh shit, or just a childbirth. Again, I don't know how much of this I'm going to show you. Are you not entertained? Right, you fellas, we're getting a camel saddle. I'm sure you guys are learning a lot from that. Again, I promise to skip through a lot of this, but I'm narrating right now because, of course, if I skip these, I will put narration over the top of this, right? I will speed it up or delete it altogether. We're going to buy some Jareeds here. We got plenty of money. Wazu's being reckless. He's got no fiscal responsibility, right? He's just buying shit left and right. He's never had money before. He's like a lottery winner who was poor their whole life with no advisor, and he's just fucking recklessly spending. But a lot of these, again, I will try to skip. Now, look at this shit. This is getting incredibly frustrating, and I don't know what to do about it. Nobody is at war down here. The Southern Empire is at war only with these minor clans. The Aserai is at war with nobody. The Khazate is at war with nobody. Like, I had to look all the way over to the Western Empire before I could find war. I don't know, do I have a pacifist mod here? And this has been going on for a while. Nobody's fighting anybody. So we're gonna, I guess we'll get laid. If nobody's fighting, we'll embrace free love or whatever, and just move on. Go to Danustica here, and you know what? I probably am I'm just gonna stop narrating because there's no way. I should explain this. We got these guys coming back from quests, and it does make it kind of difficult because they come back, and whatever soldiers they had for those quests, of course, suddenly you're over capacity. But here's what I can do. I know it looks weird. You're like, wait, you're over capacity and you're recruiting more troops. We are getting deserters, but this is another way to give companions experience, right? I've got these companions. Now, I can't tell them what to do. It's basically, they're like freelancing, but I can recruit troops. I can recruit a whole bunch of troops here, and then I can give them to one of these companions. I wish I had Arwa. I would send her off. You can actually get pregnant like hundreds of miles away from your wife, which is, that's like a tad suspicious if your wife is on the other side of the map and she gets pregnant, right? This is not particularly good, but that's how the game mechanics work. I guess people were having a hard time getting their wife pregnant. So what we're going to do here is just dump some troops on this guy, and he will roam around. He will chase down bandits. Now, he could get killed, right? He could get captured. All kinds of bad things can can happen. But it's like a mama duck. Eventually, you got to let your ducklings out there. Some of them are going to get hit by cars, and others are going to get eaten by dogs. It's just part of life, right? And these guys, frankly, at this stage, they're disposable. I can get another guy like this for whatever, 400 gold. So away he goes. Janolf the Grizzled, I guess we'll call him. And now he'll get some EXP and go roam the land. But I'm perplexed here. I guess we'll go do this hideout here because there's absolutely no war. And as far as I know, there's no way as a mercenary to start wars, not unless you want the criminal reputation. And I don't actually know what happens if you do that other than you turn into a criminal. I don't want to do that in this campaign. All right, so we're going to do a little after narrating here. I apologize for the sound being a little bit weird, right? This guy's running through it like I've got the video sped up to like 3.5, and I'm just narrating afterwards. For a second there, I was trying to narrate as fast as the movement was, and I was like, okay, nobody can actually understand me if I narrate this at 3.5 speed, right? It's already probably difficult for you to understand what's happening here. And I probably will delete these in the future. I'm just kind of showing you 5 or 10 minutes here of what happened in this campaign. I'm in a strange spot here. I'm relegated basically to attacking bandits and hideouts and shit like that because everybody's at peace with each other. I've never experienced this problem in a campaign. I've thought of all the different problems I might have in a campaign, like crashes and getting, taken prisoners, shit like that. But I never accounted for the fact that maybe all of the people around me would be just pacifists, right? It's a new thing for me to discover here. So we're dealing with it the best we can. All right, well, a little bit more after narration here, cruising through some tournaments. Our wife is in this tournament here, and just, kind of trying to fill up the edges of this campaign here. I'm definitely eventually not going to show this stuff, right? And I've already skipped some stuff over with this campaign. I'm showing bits and pieces here because there were some interesting things that happened right after this tournament, so I didn't want to have a little blip in here. And you guys can feel free to bring up what you think about this, right? Should I just delete? I should probably just delete this altogether. That's my hunch. But these initial ones here, I'm just going to kind of show in 3.5x speed. We're picking up all kinds of equipment from these tournaments, just racking up all kinds of goods. Of course, we're getting skill points. Arwa's getting skill points. She was in that tournament. She did some good work. You benefit, right? You get all kinds of benefit. Again, I was looking at all these different kingdoms. None of these fucks were at war. It's just peace here, peace there, a bunch of fucking mega pacifists. And then I went in and looked at the equipment for Arwa and decked her out, right? We were able to upgrade a few of her items. I just happen to have a nice piercing arrow package to dump on her because they come with run-of-the-mill routine arrows. So she's a sword, spear, bow character, which does make her vulnerable, right? She can get speared because she has no shield, but she's also going to do major damage as a warrior. And frankly, that's how I'm going to play my wives, right? They're going to be aggressive. Their job is to have kids, and if they die in battle, they die in battle. And we do have the death for all mod loaded too, right? So there's a higher chance that she dies of battle, which is certainly going to make things interesting during the campaign. Yeah, see, I need to change this part, I think. So look at how strong she is, right? Level 23. This is a beast of a wife. Now, your characters that come with predetermined perks, you want to be mindful of that. Here's a good example. She does not have the perk that Wazu has that makes her more fertile. So what are we going to do? We're going to fix that, right? You can run into the tournament and change those perks. Now, for some reason, you can't change their attributes. You can't change their focus points. The reason and look at this shit, right? This guy's getting steward skills. This is, again, the benefit of having those companions doing their thing out there, right? This guy's literally running around, and what's happening, right? He's getting steward skill points. He's going to get combat skill points. He'll literally attack brigands for us and make us money. So I'm going to respec her charm, right? I can go in here and say, yes, I want to change her perks on charm. And just so this guy remembers me here at the tournament, the Legend of Wazu, the tournament, the Peasants Revolt tournament fighter, will give that guy a nice roundhouse do a few upgrades here for Wazu. But like I said, she did not have the perk that makes it more likely for her to have children, and Wazu wants to have children, right? So we're giving her that perk. Well, the point of all that, though, is some of your companions that have predetermined perks, some of them are suboptimal. You might think they have a certain perk, or you might want them to have a certain perk and they don't. Now, this guy's not a very good leader. If you look at his stats, he's actually a very suboptimal leader. I'll probably put somebody else in charge of an army as soon as I can. And this guy's going to be strictly a warrior and a captain for one of the crossbow divisions, the Grizzled. Right, we're gonna power up his crossbow skills, but Arwa will be. This gal might lead troops too, because she's gonna have scouting skills eventually. Although her social and intelligence are both low, you want good stats down there. Now Arwa, here we go. Right, more likely to have children. Clearly, that's what we want. A lot of these I'm just going to kind of click through. Again, I'm not going to get too deep into the minutia every single time we do the upgrades for these. But like I said, some of them are critical. I definitely want Arwa cranking out children. I also want her gaining relationship from the same sex. I don't want her hitting on guys in the bar, going to the Sandy Crotch and picking up guys when I'm out on campaign. So we're making her very friendly to females and cold to other men, right? We want to primogeniture, whatever that shit is, right? We want to preserve the male line here, and men fucking totally obsessed like organisms about the offspring being theirs. Wow. Otherwise, you end up on Jerry Springer here. See, I can't join anybody as a mercenary. This is so frustrating. There's nothing to fight, nowhere. I have to like run off somewhere to go have a battle somewhere. I've never experienced this kind of. It's really strange. We just can't seem to find a battle. Sturgeons. Peace. Everybody has peace. I mean, I don't know what happens here. What happens if I just start raiding villages and just ripping shit up? I mean, I presume very bad things. I'm not going to save scum, so I'm not going to do that. But part of me just wants to start ripping shit up, tearing caravans apart and fucking raiding villages. We got more guys coming back from quests. So we really have kind of a crisis here of way too many units. I mean, you could see what's going on here, right? We have... we're getting these guys, they're completing these quests, and we're ending up with like fucking 20 over. Now, ordinarily that's fine, right? Because a lot of times you're in battles and you're losing troops, but that's the whole point. I can't find any battles here. There's just nothing to fight. And I'm a little perplexed here. Like, I wonder if I need a mod to make these fucking kingdoms more violent. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Never experienced this before, and I've played a lot. Maybe you guys can pipe up in the comments if you know what's going on. Look at that, didn't take long at all, right? Didn't I tell you that Wazu is horny? And now, of course, she's virile. Virile is the word for it. It basically means you're strong stock, or they're genetically strong or some shit like that. Basically, it means you're young and virile, right? You're young and highly, very healthy, basically. So doing a few more of these quests. Now, I didn't notice this before. This hero is pregnant. I can't send Arwa out on quests. I didn't think that was the case. I think that's a new change. And I guess it makes sense, right? You can't be sending your pregnant wife on all kinds of, attacking raiders and shit like that. But she can also fight in the tournament at the same time she's pregnant, too. That guy's look said it all right there. I will probably overlay that over my next 10 seconds here in slow-mo, because some of the stuff in the game, that right there, that image, I know I'm going to be showing that in slow-mo. That's totally how I feel about a lot of the mechanics of this game, and no doubt you guys as well, right? There's some strange shit that goes on in this game. And we'll hunt down some bandits. But again, I really am relegated to a very strange process in this campaign, right? I've got guys running around doing quests. I've got nothing to fight. At this stage, we're just going to go seek one of these kingdoms. I've waited long enough. We're going to go seek one of these other kingdoms, the Western Empire or somebody like that, and whore ourselves out, right? Wazu is greedy for money, and he can't make any money. Wazu has now, we're role-playing, Wazu has now started taking the money out of our troops' pockets. Like, he wakes up at 2 a.m. and is heard and seen rustling around the soldiers' camp, and the soldiers have seen Wazu taking their little copper coins, their wages, his little tiny earnings, they've seen him. Nobody says anything, right? Because he's 7 feet tall. You don't say anything to a guy like that in the middle of the night when he's taking your money. In fact, you pretend like you're sleeping. But you notice, right? The word is out that Wazu is so greedy for money and so desperate for money that he's stealing the little copper coins that his soldiers are earning with their blood. Again, I digress. We're role-playing here, but I'm trying to make light of a frustrating situation here. I'm getting rained on, and there's nothing to kill. I'm relegated to chasing looters, with a huge force, and we can't catch anything, right? We have too big of an army to do stuff like that. There's plenty of troops. Everywhere I go, there's lots and lots of troops. I don't think we're maxed out for companions. Now, fortunately, I won't run out of things to talk about, right? Whether it's infant mortality or something else. I guess while I spend the next few minutes wandering around looking for something here, and again, I may edit some of this shit later on. Infant mortality, right? It's a luxury today. We experience incredibly low... What's happening here? Oh, this quest. Yeah, you gotta... I don't know how that works. Like, one guy says, yeah, do this, and then the other guys come in and say, you can't do that, and... No matter what, it seems like a lose-lose. Again, maybe that's another one of those quests I haven't paid attention to. But you... Wait. Who are they at war with? Northern Empire. All right, so we can... Here we go. We finally have a kingdom we can join. The Southern Empire, even though I'm kind of loath to help Regea, she's going to be definitely an enemy of ours. I want battle. Wazu in particular wants battle. He wants money very badly. So we're going to go ahead and sell our soul here to the Southern Empire. How much will they give us here? 210. That's nice. That's a good amount. It's not the whatever 400, the crazy shit that the Northern Empire was paying us. But at least now we can kill something. There'll be something in front of us that we can stomp with our boot. Ikrasi lamfan, right? Like Voltaire. We're looking for something to smash our boot with, right? Crush the infamy. Infant mortality in the 1100s. I don't know exactly each century, but what I've always seen and heard is 1 in 2. Now, go ahead and picture that for a second today. You've got your wife, maybe some of you guys are 40 and you got 3 kids. If you had 3 kids, that means 3 others died. That is just unimaginable in today's world. It just literally, it boggles the mind. And of course, that was the average. Some people experienced much worse rates. Now, how did it happen, right? There was lots of stillbirths. Actually, we got a fight here. There was lots of stillbirths. This guy's eagerly coming to fight us. He's got elite troops, Manavelitons, and Legionnaire. But he's also got way too many infantry to fight our archer-heavy army, right? You know what's going to happen. This guy's a much more advanced army. This is not no joke right here. This is a serious force. He looks serious. He looks like a grizzled old veteran. And I'll get back to infant mortality, but just imagine that. Half of the children died. And just to give you an extreme example, we'll put Arwa in charge of the 7th. Lid is in charge of the 1st. He's our brute. Well, one of our brutes. We got more than one brutes. Isn't there a valley here? Here we go. We got a nice little valley we can totally bail out to if we need to. But kill box here, right? We're going to kite to kill box. We're going to surround and drown. We probably have 10 or 15 guys with javelins, and we're going to make heavy use of those guys. I got to adjust a setting or two here, otherwise things are going to be haywire. All right, so kite to kill box, infant mortality. Just here's to give you an extreme example. There was a queen of England in the early 1700s. Her name was Queen Anne. She came right after the Glorious Revolution, and she had 17 pregnancies, and 0 of her children reached adulthood. 0. Just imagine that. I can't imagine that for a heartbeat. Imagine being the husband. Yeah, we got to try to conceive again. Then the 8th and the 9th and the 10th. You would be certain by the 8th, 10th, 12th that none of your kids were going to survive, but it was also incumbent on the nobility to keep trying to make kids. So this poor couple, sex must have been, there must have been like the Grim Reaper standing over them like, oh shit. I'm here giving a history lesson, and their infantry that's the fastest I've seen infantry move so far in this campaign. Look at Arwa's right behind me. She's already spattered in blood. Maybe she won't make it to child mortality. All right, so we need to start kiting hard here with these troops. Fortunately, I caught that, I think, in time. You know, we can get our 5th, 1st, and 4th spread out here. The 6th is jammed up against the rocks here. pretty bad. I can put them down in the valley, but then they can't help. I think we'll be able to get these guys through. We're being pursued by cavalry, but just to finish that point, I just find that absolutely unbelievable that they continued to try to have babies. It's amazing they didn't kill themselves. I guess religion is the only thing that kept them from killing themselves, because of course back then everybody firmly believed if you killed yourself you're going to hell, right? Nobody wants to go to hell. Not to mention, I'm sure they felt a lot of duty to country and shit like that. But to just keep on trying to crank out babies, and incidentally, well, not incidentally, the women had no choice, right? It's not like they could be like, nah, we've tried 9 times, I don't want to try again, it's traumatic. They had absolutely no choice, right? They were just told, get on your back, and we're trying to make more kids here. Women are becoming more equal, but they're still a long ways from it. All you have to do is just count the number of presidents in the United States that have been female. I'm making this episode literally the week of the election, so who knows what's going to happen. And I'm not going to get political. But, I mean, I guess some people won't like the feminist approach that I'm taking here. And you see our kite to kill box, even though these are elite troops, is completely swallowing up the enemy. I will try to mix explaining what we're doing tactically. Some of these episodes I will show it very clearly. Now we're swallowing them up with both cav divisions and infantry, because we're going to make sure none of these guys survive. Then we're going to destroy this pitiful little amount of archers here that are coming up. So infant mortality, at one point I did want to talk about how did they die. Well, a lot of them died stillbirth. That's basically, and that actually happens in Bannerlord, and it says, that they were born, I think it says they were born stillborn or whatever. That basically means a baby that came out where it looked fine, but it was dead. It was not breathing, or maybe it breathed briefly, some agonal breathing, and then it died. So that's horrific, right? You're all excited for a baby. You're finally bringing it to term, and it dies. Obviously, a lot of the problems was disease. There was all kinds of diseases, including fevers. Fevers killed an amazing amount of people in the medieval era. We actually have a term for it in my profession. It's called a febrile seizure, and that basically means... Actually, I'm not sure. I think it applies only to kids, but I'm not 100% certain. But a febrile seizure is exactly what it sounds. Well, it's not exactly what it sounds like. That's a fever that kills, or that was a fever that frequently killed children. And that was another thing that happened. So your baby would get through the maelstrom of all the disease and shit of pregnancy, and then of course they would die quite afterwards from febrile seizure. Then there was typhus and fucking smallpox and 100 other things that would malign children. It's funny, I couldn't swing my weapon while this guy had his arms up in the air. Victory! And he's got his hands up in the air. I mean, this is a strong force, and with these tactics, this guy, they got completely obliterated. We had not even a quarter losses here, just gas that fucking torched this Northern Empire force. But this is what we want, right? We want some challenges here. That was a little bit more of a challenge. We're going to do the old step ladder challenge up here. We're going to try not to get captured. So we're going to fight progressively harder foes, right? We're going to continue to rack up gold, work on our skills here, and talk about, horrific pregnancies and the health effects of the medieval era. We got way too many prisoners here. My prisoners are kind of recruiting slowly, and of course every time that you fall below your troop capacity, some of the prisoners basically escape, right? You lack the ability to hold on to them. I'm probably carrying way too many prisoners, but there's a lot of those prisoners I really want to capture. I really want to, not capture, but I really want to enrich. Let's see, what's the right word? I want them to enroll into our army, right? Fucking hired elite crossbow and shit like that. We want those guys. All right, so another period here, just kind of clicking through the motions, harassing the Northern Empire here as we continue to be a vassal for the Southern Empire. We did some village raiding, we did some recruiting, and here's the problem. When you send troops against villagers, you experience far worse results using the auto-resolve than you ever would actually fighting the battle. This is one of those things that's a difficult conundrum of Bannerlord, right? Because are you going to auto-resolve in situations where you're losing elite troops at a critical point of your campaign, or are you going to go through the drudgery of fighting these villagers, and hacking and slashing through the various different situations. It's one of those conundrums that we all face when we're playing a game like this, and that's why I'm not trying to waste your time here. We did a little bit of chasing around of some fucks here, but it was a fairly uneventful 15 minutes. The Southern Empire was throttling Northern Empire force. This was relevant. We picked up a Vadar Hot Blood from a tournament. This is definitely, in my opinion, the best horse in the game. There are horses that do more charge damage, but for me, speed is king, whether it's running down an opponent or running away from an opponent. And so this tournament here, you know, again, you get kind of the blazing fast episode version of it. If you can't tell by this stage, once you get to a competent level of melee, you're basically unbeatable in tournaments, at least if you have a shield. Very different situation if you go to Botania and fight up there in their tournaments where they're swinging two-handers and you got to fight like a Caladog, right, with his incredible weapon speed. Obviously, that's a different situation. Or even in Valandia, right, where you end up with battles against Volgirs and shit with crush through. It can be a harder fight. But with the shield here in typical Imperial battles, it's just an absolute massacre. And again, I've mentioned that before. These are all steps that I'm probably going to take for maybe an episode or two more, and then frankly I'm going to ignore tournaments because I just don't need it. We don't need the loot. We're going to pile up plenty of loot and money just from ripping apart the enemy. Again, did a little bit of raiding, a little bit of buying stuff, and the village differences I want to show you, and we will resume live here now. This fucking guy, of course I can't catch anybody. It's amazing how many times I've looked like a bitch in this campaign, chasing after units, and these motherfuckers outrun me. I might have to try a new strategy here. Oh, look at this shit. We just lost 3 master archers to villagers. So that would never happen. Man, that's frustrating. Obviously, this is my best archer, or at least the best archer in the Aserai territory. Think about a battle between us and the villagers. What does that mean? Like the archers are up there charging with the, with the paper towel roll in their hand or something like that? These guys would never be at the front of the line in any battle. And it's one of those things that just makes you shake your head about the game. The game can be incredibly brilliant and fun one moment and then make you absolutely want to throw your controller or your mouse against the wall and shit like that. The next village that we got going on down here. Okay, they're sieging Gauss. The next village we run into here, we're definitely going to fight it out, and I just show you the difference there. We had 7 killed, and I'm raiding villages, frankly, because I'm trying to get attention here. It looks like the Northern Empire is dealing with shit elsewhere. We're going to give them a reason to come back to the homeland here, right? We're going to slaughter some villagers here. I'm definitely a sadist, a fucking ruthless murderer when it comes to video games, right? Obviously, these are pixels, and I like role-playing a little bit here, right? We'll say Wazu is a complete and thorough capitalist here. He doesn't give a shit about the lives of these fucking peasants. So we're going to do some raping, robbing, and pillaging. Actually, we won't do any rape. As both the human being and, we'll say, Wazu, I am enormously opposed to the concept of rape. I just think this is, like, I would rather kill somebody than rape a woman. I just think it's an absolutely despicable act, and in many ways it's torture for women. It traumatizes them for the rest of their fucking life. I was going to apologize for a quarter second if someone out there is a rapist, but no, I'm not going to do that. But look at the difference here. 0 casualties and 0 injured, right? So this is a clear problem with the system. Don't rape people, and don't use auto-resolve if you have critical troops for your campaign. It's just a disaster. Now, of course, it helps we have the RTS mod, right? That took like 20 seconds. In fact, I didn't even really tell you the setup and stuff like there. It's all bread and butter, right? You're just protecting your archers with infantry. The archers would never be out in front, right? This is just not a thing. Unfortunately, the auto-resolve is highly dysfunctional. I mean, I guess we're lucky we have an auto-resolve. There's some chance a game like this, you just have to fight out every little tiny fucking dipshit battle. So hopefully we can chase a guy down here. I'm really getting frustrated at myself for poorly chasing these guys down here. And I think, I was mentioning a second ago, I think I'm going to change my strategy a little bit here. I've been toting around a huge amount of prisoners and not going after these guys very intelligently. I've been just kind of chasing them around like a fucking big Doberman. or a golden retriever, right? We're going to use our head here and just, we're not going to do clown stuff here. Now, this obviously doesn't matter. I'm just a mercenary, so we're just collecting the loot, right? We're just slaughtering this fucking small force of, and I could auto-resolve here too, but based on the fact that we just lost 7 fucking troops to militia, I'm gonna fight this battle out. We'll use a modicum of tactics here. We'll use a small amount, but again, fortunately, I have the RTS model, so we can blaze through portions of these. And I am going to try to show, as you can tell, quite a few of these battles in this full campaign playthrough. That's a tongue twister there. We're going to show some of these. See if I can make a rainbow shot over all the hills. It's sick when it hits. We're going to show some of these because, frankly, some guys want to see every minute of this campaign, which is amazing to me. But, hats off to you fellas, right? You guys want to watch a lot of Bannerlord. I don't know if that's guys who can't play it right now because they're overseas or their computer broke down or whatever it is, but I'm not quite going to do that. We're not going to show every single moment, and I'm not going to show you assembling all of our loot and selling them to, various different cities. But significant battles, especially early on here, for sure I'm going to show, and I will show, I guess what I would call a smattering is a nice little noun for what I'm going to do here. I'm going to show probably 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 battles like this, where there's 0 chance of us losing. You could definitely F1, F3 this, so that guys sort of see my thought process here for the tactics. I'm actually being a little sloppy here, but it's not going to matter, right? We have elite archers, elite infantry, and what I mean by that is half our army at this stage. I don't know how I missed that guy. Half our army, I'm really intent on killing this fucking horse archer. He was shooting me at the beginning, and I've taken it personal. This fucking asshole. Where'd he go? There he is. You're fucking dead, man. Fucking Mizam the Karak Herget. That's my fucking favorite death sound, I think. You can't tell if he's laughing or fucking crying in pain. We'll show some of these because it's essential in a campaign to win these battles, and not just win them, but win them destructively, right? Minimal losses. That's why we're playing this out. Obviously, I could have auto-resolved and we would have just trucked these guys. And for you, the watcher, if you're either watching this as your first playthrough for Bannerlord, right? Hopefully you guys are getting some stuff. Hopefully you're learning from the little minute details that I'm doing in some of these battles, right? A lot of these, of course, I'm playing a little sloppy, especially battles like that where it's just obvious. You can F1, F3 from the beginning, and you would win. We want to minimize our casualties. We're in enemy territory here. We have pretty good troops. Probably half of our archers and infantry are tier 4, 5, and 6 now. J is on the move. That little army I made, they're out there marching, which is good, right? They're going to... Oh, shit. They're going to gain some experience. We got a big Northern Empire force here. 657 Northern Empire fucks. Damn it, we're getting more troops back. And so we're going to get more deserters. I can dump some recruits and stuff like that, but I don't actually have a lot of low-level troops at this stage. I need help with this. I'm not going to be able to fight 700. I'm sure there's some guys who are like, what are you doing? You're good at this game. Turn and slaughter them. We might be able to win that against 6-something. But you also look like a total dipshit in a campaign if you're just out here trying to be a hero. I don't have to fight them, right? I'm a mercenary. Nothing's threatened here for me. And in fact, I have a lot to lose, right? If we lose to this force, I lose all my gear, all this shit. Caladog declares war. Why? Caladog declares war on us, on the Southern Empire. He's nowhere near us. There's like 3 kingdoms in between us. I have no idea what's going on in this game. I got pacifists all over in my neck of the woods, right? The Southern Empire, Khazate, all these fucks at the Aserai. Nobody wants to fight, but Britannia is declaring war against kingdoms hundreds of miles away while they're already at war with the Northern Empire. Oh well. Yeah, I could go on. I could just go on a fucking Bill Burr style rant. Just you stupid fucking dipshit AI fucking donkey motherfuckers. You know, Bill Burr. If you've never seen Bill Burr, the stand-up comedian, he's fucking fantastic. I wish I had a little Bill Burr comedic gene in my body where I could just go on crazy rants about shit. So they're sieging there. That's good, right? We're hoping that they either get wounded on that castle defense, or if they start to siege that castle down, we will jump in there and defend it. I don't know the layout of Gauss, although I think I'm going through my memory banks. Yes, it is the same as Veron Castle. It is the same as Gersegos. And the way I remember, fans of the Peasants' Revolt may remember he wants... Oh shit, I totally forgot to collect this guy's money. He's gonna consider me a criminal. He's gonna... What, are you gonna report me to the IRS there, Adrum? Not to mention I'm married to your daughter. Take it easy. I'll give you some money, you fucking stupid bitch. This is another auto-resolve situation. But look at that shit. God, you know, I probably should fight these. 23 deaths, right? I'm losing forest bandits. Now some of those deaths I just realized were the village. But Gauss Castle has the layout, the same layout from Gersegos. I don't know. At some point I'm gonna name this fucking layout. It's the sloped down layout where there's a defensive position for your archers. That's just brilliant, right? They can hit the guys in the gatehouse over your own infantry, and it's a deadly castle to defend. So if we go into it now, here's a little tidbit for new players. Don't enter now, because it's very likely that they will either leave or more forces will come. Wait until the numbers are starting to go down, and what that means is that the siege is active. For whatever reason, these Southern Empire forces aren't coming up here, which perplexes me. I thought we might have an open field battle. But you wait until that number goes down, that 657. Then you know that the castle is being sieged. And what you can do is you can join it, and you go immediately into the siege stage. It does throw you right in. You got to be kind of ready, Johnny on the spot with your units, and have a plan. Of course, you can always pause and whatnot. But if I... Okay, I thought it was starting to go down. If I jump in now, what'll happen? I think they're suffering losses from artillery. If I jump in now, they may either get more reinforcements, see how it's going down now, or they may leave, right? So we want this siege. We want to defend this. There's plenty of other militia and defenders here to make this a relatively easy siege. So we're just going to cruise right through this. Pardon me for clearing my throat there. When you talk for an hour straight like these episodes, you know, this is going to be a thing. I've learned to pause when I'm about to cough, and you'll hear a little. And unfortunately, you know, I have a mouse button. Not a mouse button. I have a little button. I can mute my shit so I'm not coughing in your guys' ears. Do a little clearing of the throat here as we separate our units. So 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Division, you should be familiar by now. If you've watched more than one episode here, for siege defense, I like 3 or 4 divisions of infantry, and then all the rest archers. And that's because I want archers at different locations. In fact, I've been playing around with a little defensive structure here. They have so many forces here. It's risky to do this if we were the main defenders. But I want to show you guys another alternative. I don't know if it'll work. There's enough defenders here where they might even be able to hold this castle without our help. Of course, we want to be part of it, right? We're trying to get money. Wazu is a greedy fuck here, right? He is avaricious to the fucking bone. He's been poor his whole life. He needs some money. He needs some money so he can go buy some more Versace shirts. But what you do here is you set up 3 archer divisions up here. You can get a long one spread where I'm standing right now. You get infantry near the door. Apologies, I have to keep clearing my throat. I'm not sure what's going on here. This shit happens when you're older. You put 2 archer tranches up there by the main citadel. Out of my way, fellas. Fucking 50,000 guys trying to get through the door here. This is rush hour medieval style. I'm gonna start throwing javelins here unless you bitches get out of my way. And then what we effectively do is just guard these walls, guard these upper walls. And because of the layout of that, if they attack our archers that are near the castle center, near our castle center there, the archers on the walls pound them. If they attack the archers on the walls, the archers near the castle pound them. We gained another level here. I mean, siege is just absolute gold for leveling early in a campaign. Our militia's getting butchered here, but we're Johnny on the spot, right? They're too dumb to pick these fucking grenades up. Just go up there with your shields, you dipshits. Whatever you do, Maybe they don't have enough forearm strength, right? They don't have enough extension strength in their triceps to fucking push these out here, I guess. We'll take it all, though. We'll take thousands of EXP and siege skills while these dipshits on the catapult expose us because they're too dumb to fucking fire where the wall isn't there. You assholes. I've got this theory. It's not really my theory. It's from a book I glanced at a little bit, and I've kind of hypothesized myself that about a sixth of the population is an irretrievable dumbass. A complete dipshit, and just they cause all kinds of carnage. Most of them are actually innocent, nice people. They're just dumb, and so they kind of stagger through life. I realize there's a chance that somebody listening to this is like, fuck you too. I hope you have a fucking car accident. I'm not saying it like I dislike these people. What I'm saying it as, I treat them like they're brown bears or a shark. I give them a wide berth. Let's pour. Oh shit! Sorry, I thought that was the enemy pouring in. Who threw that? Let's get a name. I swear some militiaman did that, right? Didn't you guys see? That looked like a Southern Empire troop threw that. It's not going to matter here, though. The enemies, get out of my way. This guy won't get off my. Should kill this guy. I think because the battle's over. I was going to fire my catapult a couple times there. So my dumbass theory. Look at this shit. How did I lose 2 Battanian Fiend champs? I thought I took everybody off the walls. Oh well, we're kind of stumbling and staggering. Maybe I'm a dipshit. Maybe I'm that 1/6. Sometimes I feel like it, right? We all have our dipshit moments. But I believe these people are out there, and most of them are well-meaning people. The people in the world you really have to worry about are the people that are really smart and they have no morals. Those are the guys that'll steal money from your grandparents. Those are the guys that'll fucking hack your account. Hacked your YouTube account and rob you. You bitches ain't getting away, Griffer. Come here. No fucking running away. Whenever this disorganized state runs out, I think we're going to be able to catch them. They finished that point though. So these guys are out there, these dipshits, and they're the ones that'll run a red light and just hit you while you're in an intersection. You're like, what are you thinking? And of course they're like, beer. They have like no. Their brain is just not functioning as well as ours. I mean, on one side, I'm very grateful for fate, whatever, genetics, that I have a well-operating brain. But there's just some people that are fucking staggering drunk through life, right? It is a major problem. And by the way, I'm doing a little bit of drinking tonight with this episode, so we shall see. I'm only one in here. My drink of choice is typically some kind of carbonated sweet beverage. Hopefully you guys don't think less of me for that. I'll drink a heavier beer too. I like a good. I better not go into all the different names here. We're not giving companies like credit and shit like that. There's no product placement here. I kind of despise that part of capitalism. Look at this fucking sweet, beautiful thing, right? This vigor perk, we're getting massive perks from this athleticism. I mean, what a beast of a perk it is. When I see guys with 60 athleticism, I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking? And speaking of, we get a little drink here. Anyways, I won't tell you the name of it, but I prefer a little carbonated sweet beverage. And tonight, I might drink 4 or 5. So this might get interesting as the episode goes along. Anyways, watch out for those dipshits. Those guys are out there. They'll fuck you up without realizing it. Pardon that little blip. And into battle we go here. A little bit of editing. Every once in a while I get a little computer snafu, and I have learned to do a little bit of editing, right? We just cut it out, and hopefully you guys aren't disturbed by that. No more disturbed than me giving F-bombs over here and considering a 1/6 of the population a dumbass. The good thing for dumbasses is that most of them are unaware that they're a dumbass. There's a sociological effect, psychological effect called Dunning-Kruger's effect, where really dumb people actually think they're smart. They actually think they're very smart. And ironically, very smart people tend to question their intelligence. They tend to underestimate their intelligence because they're aware that there's a lot of knowledge in the world and they have not acquired that much, right? They're kind of aware that there's this unbelievable, almost infinite amount of knowledge in the world. And so they're always learning stuff, and when they learn something that totally boggles their mind for the first time, it dawns on them that shit, there might be just fucking infinite things like this that I don't know. And so ironically, really smart people tend to think they're dumb, and really dumb people generally tend to think they're smart. This explains a lot of politics, by the way. If you just kind of look around, right, these things become more apparent Killing bitches left and right here. Where the fuck is that yelling coming from? I hear yelling. It sounds like it's coming from the top of that hill. I don't see anybody though. Are they? I don't know. That was weird. Maybe my microphone's acting funny. It almost sounded like they were on the other side of the hill there. I don't know. No, they're like on top of the hill. How did they get up there? They can't get up there. I don't know how they did that. I've tried to climb that and I haven't been able to. Somehow the AI does it. Hey, Arwa's gaining levels, right? That's beautiful. It's always nice when the wife gains some levels. Oh, they fucking did come down. You motherfuckers. All right, we gotta swivel around hard here. Obviously, if that huge amount of infantry reaches us, we're fucked. So let's get the 4th and 6th, 4th and 5th rather, spread out way on this backside here. And kill these stupid camel riding motherfuckers. I actually, and I mentioned it before in a couple episodes, I do plan on recruiting some of these Jawal, Bedouin and shit like that, because we are doing a little role playing. Maybe not until later, but the Jawal is going to be one of the mercenary clans that we want in our army. It's going to be fucking epic with hundreds, well maybe not hundreds, but scores of, dozens of camels running all over the place, rampaging and stamping through and shit like that. And I have a peculiarity that I'm curious about. If it looks weird, the game right now, if these camels look huge, there's a possibility that a mod that I'm using is making them look like this. I don't recall, and I've played a lot of Bannerlord, I don't recall Jawals being on top of 10-foot tall camels. And I apologize for the fellas who want to... I've caught my infantry got caught up here a little bit. I've been really sloppy this episode. It might be because I'm two beers in, so to speak. We shall see. Maybe this will negatively impact the campaign. Wazu doesn't give a fuck. We're going to drink a little bit. I'm not slurred of speech yet, so we're doing all right. But look how tall that guy is. He looks like he's 10 feet tall. I have a mod that enhances camels. I don't know if it's affecting the size, though. I don't remember them being that tall. They literally look like they're 8 feet, 10 feet tall camels. Now, I got this mod not to, of course, make our kingdom overpowered. That's the last thing I want is to overpower our kingdom. Obviously, we're going to overpower the enemy, not the other way around. If you can't tell yet, this is vanilla Bannerlord, and we are just trucking everything in sight, right? We're going to have to bump the difficulty up here, or else you're going to get bored real quick. But these camels are fascinating. Like, I'm very curious if this is from the mod. Oh, shit, motherfuckers. Fucking die, you bastards. Some of these infantry are fighting and some are routing here. This battle's over. I imagine their archers will rout too. Another classic, just basic crane formation. I do it in my sleep now. And it's, that's only 50 archers on each side or 40 archers on each side, and it's devastating, right? That strong infantry line just broke like bitches. We had a few casualties, but not too bad. And partly that was because I'm getting inebriated and a little bit sloppy, maybe. 25 more renown. The money's pouring in, right? Influence. I think we get money based on influence. What is it, 200 per? So that might have been 10,000 gold from that one battle, just for the influence side of things. Definitely starting to recruit more and more crossbow. Right? I want some crossbow because it's nice to have defensive archers. Defensive archers are archers that you can all of a sudden tell them to square or shield wall or whatever. Your regular archer with no shield is kind of a bitch in battle. They have to be highly protected. You have to kite with them. And obviously they have significant limitations. So now what to do, right? We've got some battle up north. Might be time to go to town here and sell some of our loot. Been a little while since we've been to town. Can ransom a few of these guys here, and I want to handle this forest bandit hideout. Again, I know some guys are like groaning. Another forest bandit hideout. You know what you can do? Of course, you can always click down on your YouTube and just skip ahead 2 minutes. Because I assure you, this won't be a 9-minute bandit hideout. We're blazing through these as fast as possible. And I can also assure you, by episode 8, 9, something like that, we won't do any more of these at all. Like, just never. I mean, I guess that's not entirely true, right? Every once in a while, if it's hurting the security of one of our cities, You know, if there's a couple bandit hideouts and these motherfuckers are robbing our citizens, then we may go through and just take care of business. Look at these inaccurate fucks. They threw 87 javelins and missed every time. I might start hitting my own guys with javelins unless they start throwing better. You stupid fucks. Yeah, they are bastards, aren't they? For once, I agree with the freebooter here. This is a strange bandit hideout. They've added a lot of maps, and I don't recognize this one at all. Somehow I threw it right by the guy, and he just stands there. Was that a javelin? That 1/6 dipshits? Evidently, Tail Worlds agrees, right? They've got the characters who stand there. They're like, what was that? It seemed like a javelin right over my head. Well, I guess I'll just keep standing here. Never mind. Yeah, so again, we will blaze through this. Of course, again, I'm using the RTS mod. We're just going to blast our way through this shit. None of this represents a real threat. I got a tree to hide behind. How'd they hit me around the tree? What the fuck? I'm going to get killed talking shit here about how easy this is. I swear they're shooting fucking arrows right through the trees there. Look, I can't fucking throw a javelin through it, but they can shoot through it. Fucking assholes. Although, I just realized Wazu is so fucking huge that maybe his belly and like his giant body sticks out around a tree. Ordinarily, like a lot of these trees, you could get your whole body behind it. This fucking freebooter almost killed me. Bushwhacker. I always laugh at that name, Bushwhacker. But Wazu actually may have a problem with that, which brings up size. Size is a really strange thing in Bannerlord. There's all kinds of arguments. I've seen plenty of people who are like, you want a small character. We'll see if it puts us in the dark again for this. Yeah, still in the dark, so we're backpedaling with our shield up, hoping we don't get skewered. That's a good sound. I'll cover size here while we make our little town run. There's all kinds of discussion on size. I actually prefer a taller character, both for the role-playing element, but there is an actual practical reason. Now, the arguments for small is simple. You're a smaller target, right? Guys are shooting you, throwing javelins at you, trying to spear you. If you're a little tiny fuck, your whole body fits behind a Pavis shield, right? You're much easier to defend. We got maybe Regaea's calling our little other companion to their army. It looks like they're doing some siege up there. We may join them. But if you're small, you also have a really hard time beheading guys, like hitting their head because you're swinging uphill. You're like, you're literally, trying to swing up instead of down. And Bannerlord's the movement system, we'll blaze through another tournament here. Again, like I said, we will blaze through these. In fact, I might even lose some of these because we're blazing through it. This time, well, we'll see. The editor, my editor-in-chief for this organization, which is me, later on we'll see if he edits out, or if I just get killed, see if he edits out this material, because I have a topic at least to talk about. So if you're small, you obviously hide really well, you got good cover, but if you're big, you have this ability to hit guys, where if you're small, you don't. Right, like it's the same way, like you have ability to do things to gals, that a smaller guy can't quite do. We'll say you can get stuff off the shelf, right? You can help her, deadhead her tall sunflower. Those kind of things, fellas. I don't know what you thought I was talking about. Any ladies listening, I hope you don't think, that I have that kind of mind. We're a good, decent fella here. Anyways, the point is when you're tall in Bannerlord, there are advantages. I know some guys just killed our companion. I know some guys think that you always want to be a small character. Well, not only do I feel like a bitch when I'm 3 feet tall in Bannerlord, but there are advantages to being tall. Right? So we're going to play around with being tall here. Now, Wazu is both tall and fat. And I do think there's a legitimate chance that I couldn't hide behind that tree because he's so fucking huge. So we'll see. That'll be interesting to go about this campaign. Wazu is the biggest possible character, right? I maxed all the bars. If I could have, I would have got a mod that make him like 8 feet tall. I just think it's cool. Oh shit. I'm going to get killed here trying to go through this too fast. I would have loved to make Wazu 8 feet and 480 pounds. I think it'd be awesome just to play a giant. Of course, you die an early death, right? Giants always die early. Just look up Andre the Giant or any of these other huge guys. These poor souls never age well. That Robert Ludlow guy, the guy that was like 8'11", he died at like 25. Of course, he died of an infection. But that dude was 8'11". If you've never heard of Robert Ludlow, I think that's his name. I pull a lot of these names out of my little memory bank, and sometimes it's like the name of the lead singer to some band instead of the actual guy. But this guy was 8'11" at like age 23, and of course he was still growing because he had gigantism. But anyway, so the height and size thing is curious. It's a curious part of Bannerlord, especially since there's at least some chance that, and the Camels made me think of this as well, there's some chance that I stick Wazu or his son on a gigantic armored camel at some point in this campaign, and it's going to be really unique. I've seen almost no playthroughs where guys are rampaging with a gigantic oversized camel. I've got to get an armor mod. I don't see really good armor yet. I've been looking around, and all there is like leather camel armor. Army of poachers. I don't think we can spare the troops for this. How many troops do you need? Let's see. The lowest risk of failure I usually do. I don't really want to let you have my best warrior, though, either. How many? Let's see. We can give him some of these low... We don't have a lot of troops to spare. Oh, never mind. It's fucking... 31 troops? No, we're not doing that. We can't do that right now. Sorry, dude. Not to mention you're fucking Southern Empire scum. Fuck you. I think let's go assist Regea up there. We will go help with the castle siege. It's not the most exciting thing, but maybe she'll get attacked, or maybe there'll be a force that sieges us there or something like that. As a mercenary, of course, you're always looking for blood. We will go join her. Looks like she's already sieging down the castle. Try to get in there. But the size is going to be interesting, and it'll be really fascinating if I get a camel. Well, of course, it'll be overpowered if I'm, like, unhittable. If the enemy can only, like, swing at my feet, like, from a 12-foot-tall camel. But it's something I'm at least going to experiment with. The nice thing is I can just get rid of the mod anytime I want. Anytime that some of the mods we're using starts to... She's getting killed. There must be a force attacking there. Let's get there, boys. Hurry up. And I was thinking, hurry up, boys. There's nobody else coming. It's just us. 37. She might even get dropped before we get there. Of course, it's Northern Empire. Fuck. 312. 48. There's 350 troops here at least. Plus the garrison's probably sallying out. Hold on, Empress. We're coming. Sometimes when there's one left, that's literally the Empress still. Let's save this gal. Ah, shit. Well, maybe we can... Okay, we intercepted them before they could take off. That's a tall order, though. Actually, I think they intercepted us. 500 against our 130. I suppose you don't do the intercepting. Well, we might have stubbed our toe here, but fuck it, right? That's our motto. I might even put that on our flag. E pluribus unum, fuck it. Let's do this shit. Like, you guys wanted to see some gnarly battles here. They got 10 fucking lords, and we have our only our army. There's no help this battle. And it's a compacted battlefield. The good thing with this battlefield is we're definitely going to be able to do some strafing. And with our army formation, with skirmishers and archers, there's a chance. You could never win this battle with infantry only or with lots of cavalry. You're just not doing it. I get guys sometimes that are like, hey, how do I defeat a force, of 350 sturgeon and archers and line breakers, and I have 150 cavalry? You don't. You get killed. If you have ranged troops, you can deal damage without being dealt damage to, right? This is just a very simple concept. And the way they developed archers in the game, they're just potent. So we've got at least a chance to win this. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create little areas for these guys to safely shoot. Right here, we'll stick this 3rd Cav Division, and it's going to be much more effective than normal because there's a bunch of rocks in the way, right? We're using the landscape. Over here, there's this higher platform we'll be able to use. The 1st and the 5th just here in the center. In fact, we'll offset the 5th kind of towards the 4th. Those guys are definitely going to move opposite directions once the enemy comes in. But look at this area up here. I can get the 6th in a big line up there. And I think I might even be able to get cavalry jammed in that little tiny, that rock wall there. And what that'll do is really isolate those guys, at least until their infantry arrives. I'm not worried about their cavalry, right? This fucking lord. Fuck you. Fucking yelling at me, screaming at me and shit. Let's kill some of her troops here first. Fucking hired pike. You hired onto the wrong side there, you dipshit. Imperial Malavliaton, eat shit. We're definitely going to inflict some damage here before they ever get to us. Now, this is going to be a different kind of kiting, right? Because they're obviously going to be attacking one of our divisions. Now, we may be able to pull them into our first division, which will be optimal, because then they'll be right through the center of the valley here. But if they attack either one of our sides, we're going to have to kite hard. And the back of the map is close. So I really have to be precise and careful with how I kite here. You can't start kiting early, because we need the enemy to sort of engage one of these sides, and we need to do damage before they get to us, right? Off your fucking horse. He gets hit on the ground. This noble just coming up here with their shield out. You dumb bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Your bodyguard's trying to stab me. It didn't save you. Holy shit, they're barreling in. All right, let's get the 6th pulled back immediately. They're not going to be able to stay there. The 1st and 5th will offset, like I said before. In fact, the 5th we can start to put up on this high wall since they're engaging the 6th. I know I'm talking quickly because I'm trying to explain what I'm doing here. Evidently, I'm not that drunk, right? I can still speak. My words aren't slurred. You guys can always slow it down to 65 speed on YouTube, and it'll sound like I'm drunk. We're gonna move our... Oh, I got stabbed. I love knocking these guys off horses. It's actually kind of fun to not one-shot everything, because you get to roll these guys around in the snow. This 4th division, we're going to be able to get them behind the enemy. Let's pull them over this ridge here to give them a little bit of protection from the archers. The 6th is beautifully positioned. The 4th can be right here. The 5th a little further. And I just smiled. You guys can't see it, of course. I'm not the guy who's going to have my stupid picture on these videos. I'm just never going to do that. But I just smiled because the enemy just died. At least this infantry division just died. They had their chance. They should have enveloped the 6th Corps. Instead, they're coming right down the chute, and now they're not going to be able to catch any of us. The 4th is behind them. So the 4th archers are firmly pounding them in the back. If they charge any of our divisions, those guys are going to wreck shop. Now it's just a matter of finesse here, right? Keeping the 1st right in front of them. It's a strip tease, right? This is the proverbial fucking stripper's underwear being dangled in front of the face of a fat guy giving $100 bills away at the strip tease. And these poor Northern Empire fucks are about to lose all their money and be captured. These guys, motherfucker, almost killed my horse. These guys are fucked. You can see the chute they're in. They got a handful of archers here. We're just teasing them with the 1st. We'll back these guys up. We might suffer a few losses there, but I wanted them to engage those guys. That's a critical thing. For you guys doing kill boxes, situations like this, and it's all feel. I have the experience to know when. Sometimes you want them to attack your infantry and not come to one of the sides. I don't have any room to kite to the sides here, so we need them to attack our 1st. Looks like they gave up. And now that was the absolute worst thing they could have done, right? I mean, really, they need to split. The AI is not capable of splitting very well. Sometimes it's piecemeal. Motherfucking killed my horse. Oh, shit. I got to try to survive now. Well, the guys are well positioned, but I'm running for my life. Look how slow I am. And there's a magical horse appears right in front of me. Look at the death spam. It was solid green. Now, they have archers moved up here. We'll give them a cav to swing at. And this fucking asshole cavalry chasing me down. I'm so close to death. But we have the enemy in a really bad spot. The 6th and 1st are now charging, right? It's like time to exterminate this infantry division because now we have to turn on their archers. They have lots of archers as well. Their cavalry is decimated. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have these guys follow me on hold fire, and I'm doing that because I want all these guys closing as hard as they can. If the enemy starts to kite us, we're going to suffer a lot of losses. You can see that's what they're trying to do. These fucking assholes are trying to get space so that they can open up volleys. They're shooting, we shoot. As soon as I saw them shooting, that means they're standing still. We charge and shoot. Infantry in a shield wall, and we bore in. And I just smiled again because this fucking battle is ours. I don't normally look up at the power bar, of course, because I'm trying to cut some guy's head off or, watching the battlefield. But I did just now, and between the tactics we've executed here, the annihilation of their infantry division, and now this, our little process here to destroy these archers, we got these bitches. And we just saved the Empress. That's worth a hand job, right, ladies? Like, you ladies out there, you get captured by this villainous piece of shit Northern Empire. I figure we're getting at least a hand job, maybe more. We're going to take Regea, however you pronounce her name. We're going to take her back to Onira in style. Wazu's going to do some flirting. He's got all kinds of food, right? We're going to give her dates, beer, Probably our freshest fruit, which is, you know, weeks spoiled. It is the medieval era. You know, some crumpled, bad-looking apples would be like, this is all we have, Empress. What do you think? Do you want to sit next to me in my carriage over here? What do you think? And we win the day here. How beautiful is that? Well, you guys wanted some gnarly battles? How's that for you? Are you not entertained? Right? This is just some good stuff. And we'll see how obnoxious I get here. In fact, after that battle, I need a drink. Do another drink here. The next break I take actually might be to go get some more booze. The question is whether or not I make, let's see, hour 40. I'm trying to do the math in my head, and I honestly can't. We're collecting prisoners here, and I'm looking down at my sheet. I'm doing it kind of slow so you can see. What are these guys? Oh, these are all the guys we freed. Yeah, you owe me one. Troops. Look at all these troops. These are the troops that were captured. This is a beautiful, strange part of the game. I get to pick... I guess this, you don't get a hand job. You get to pick whatever troops you want from their troops. So I can go through here and just absolutely load our army to the gills. I need to stop using absolutely every third sentence. We're going to completely and utterly load our army to the gills. We've all got words that we use too much. That's definitely one of mine. Absolutely. Look at this. We're loading up on crossbows. So all the casualties we just suffered there were immaterial. We just completely stacked our army. We rescued the Empress. We saved the fucking day. We're going to get all kinds of, influence. Look at all these prisoners. We're going to make money from all the prisoners. We might get a hand job. Like, things are going well for us, right? Like, this is fucking beautiful. We ditched some of these low-level, scummy troops, even though these guys have been, like, fighting at our side here, doing good work for us, right? These guys are discharged. Wazu cares not. Wazu gives no fuckeths. He wants dineros. He wants dinars. Sí, yo quiero dineros. Si mi esposa y yo hablamos español y aprendemos español, pero no hablamos español muy bien. And I won't do too much Spanish, only when I'm drunk. Onward we go. Oh, français c'est vous préférez. We'll do a little multilingual episode today. I'm drunk, so there'll probably be some really bad Irish accent drunkenness later on in this episode here. But so far, so good, right? Like, that was beautiful. Where is she, though? I didn't see her. Melian Castle. Why is she... No, we just... Oh, you know what happened? You motherfuckers. I just got a picture in my head. My imagination went to work, and I just figured out what's going on here. The garrison sallied out there to help those Northern Empire fucks defeat and take the Empress. I get this image in my head of them, all these peasants and militia. We got the Empress running with her over their head, like, you know, like Frodo in the Lord of the Rings and the Tower of Cirith Ungol. I get this picture of them like carrying this gal. We got her. And then they look out, you know, into the snowy plateau here, and they see Wazu standing, you know, right outside range of bow shot, just looking menacing because he did not get any kind of hand job. He did not get any satisfaction from the Empress out of that. She's still captured. Fuck that. We're going to rescue her here. Now, as long as we don't get ambushed here by another larger force, she's still in Melian Castle. We're going to save the day again. I guess we got to save the day twice in this episode. We're going to lead an assault here. The garrison is greatly reduced, of course, because we butchered a lot of it when they came out to sally. In we go. We've got our beer here. Another drink, in fact. We'll get some of these captains assembled here. Doesn't really matter, actually. I don't think we're going to need a lot of strategy. Our sheer rage and desire for a hand job is going to get us the victory in this episode. We're going to get that shit, right? We've been seeking that shit. We did a lot of hard work for the Empress here, and she owes us, right? Like, at least she owes us to a nice dinner, and hopefully we can learn some wisdom from this gal, right? That's all we really want. We just want to learn a little bit of lore of the Southern Empire, and if there's hand jobs, that's just fine. I don't know if I sound like a creeper right now, but I'm drunk and don't give a fuck. In we go here. We're going to try to play hero. What do we fucking got here? This is a strange castle. It's that castle where the entrances are all divided. We're going to take this left flank. The left flank I'm a little more comfortable with. We're getting shot to pieces, just trying to get in. I am a little inebriated, right? I like to, more than most people, I like to give you status checks on my brain intoxication. I would say we're modestly to significantly inebriated. but it hasn't affected the gameplay too badly. Hopefully it hasn't completely destroyed the commentary. You guys can feel free to leave comments. I left no disclaimers that I would play this entire campaign sober. We've done a few other episodes before, slightly to significantly drunk, and people didn't hate it, so we're going to mix in a few here and hopefully have some fun and get some hand jobs. It doesn't even ask the Clintons. It doesn't even count as sex, right? I did not have sex with that woman. These fucking lying politicians. You don't know what I'm referring to, you can look up Monica Lewinsky. Feel free to look it up. You young guys should know this kind of shit, even though this is like X-rated American presidential history. It's important to know. She was an intern for Clinton. I can tell you the strategy here. Here's the strategy. We're going to zerg one side of this castle. We already have an access point, and as soon as I have 15 or 20 guys here, motherfuckers shooting at me? Even when I'm drunk, I see you shooting, you fucking sons of bitches. Sons of bitches. What does that mean? They're a puppy? Isn't a bitch a dog? So they're a puppy? I don't know. Sons of bitches. It shouldn't be that big of an insult. So Monica Lewinsky was an intern / assistant, whatever they're called, secretary, assistant, basic sexist thing, where men control women. And she was helping with the Clinton administration. Presumably she was learning some political acumen. And evidently she was under the desk a few times with Mr. Clinton, right? Abusing his little political power. I suppose if I was president, I might be prone to the same things, even though I swear to you fellas, even when I'm drunk. And when you're drunk, they say you tend to be your true self. I would never cheat on my wife, ever, and that includes the old hand job. That counts, fellas, by the way. If you're at a party and your girlfriend is not there and you profess loyalty and you get a hand job, that's just fucking breaking the rules, fellas. Even when I'm drunk, right? You keep your moral compass. Why? Well, to be perfectly honest, because it helps you sleep at night. And I've been loyal to my wife every single step of the way and will be. And I go to bed every single night with a nice deep sigh. I sleep instantly. I don't have bad dreams. I don't have a bad conscience because I don't fucking act like an asshole, right? If you're loyal to your gal and vice versa, you gal's loyal to your guy, more often than not, you will discover loyalty. I apologize to those. I'm like totally going on a philosophical rant here. Hopefully it's beneficial. I apologize to those guys and gals who've been cheated on. I know this is a thing. I've been lucky enough to find an extraordinarily loyal wife. And so because of that, and not just because of that, because I also have a strong moral compass, I will never cheat on her. Like, I mean that. I mean, I got a little joke I told her once. You guys all know Natalie Portman, I presume, the highly talented Jewish something or other actress. She did, anyway, she's done a bunch of movies. She was like a Star Wars something or other. I've told my wife a few times that I'm attracted to Natalie Portman. I'm a mammal, right? I'm just trying to fuck everything that'll let me impregnate it. That's just how it works. But I told her, and she was like, "Oh, Natalie Portman," and she said something like, "Well, you wouldn't have an affair with Natalie Portman with you." And I was like, "No, babe, no, I wouldn't have an affair with Natalie Portman. No, I would leave you for her." And of course, she slapped me in the fucking somewhere perilously close to, yeah. And yeah, the point is it's a joke, right? I would, of course it's never going to happen, but if Natalie Portman showed up at my porch or started Instagramming me or whatever the fuck, I'd be like, yeah, let me show you how loyal I am. I'm incredibly flattered, and have a good day, ma'am. I just think if you fellas adapt that routine, your life will be so much better. Now, if you guys are 22 and you're just out there sport fucking and your girlfriend is you're going to be together for like a week, you do you. You guys do what you do. But when you find a really good gal, be loyal. That's all I'm going to say. Actually, I said a lot more than that, but I'm drunk, so we're just going to roll with it. You guys hate my commentary when I'm drunk? Let me know in the comments. Fucking drunk tactical enlightenment. Drunk fucking dipshit sucks. Alright, so I'm going to take a little break, frankly, because I need more beer. But we rescued the Empress here. We're basically just an ultra superhero in this episode. I was ranting philosophically, so I didn't show you every single detail there. But obviously, once we took out that force in the open, the rest of it was a foregone conclusion. So I'm going to wrap this episode up and see if I can remember all this shit. Please subscribe and like. comment. Tell me I'm a dipshit. I appreciate you, fellas. And I will see you next time.